Poul's Kitchen. Today I'm making a special dish for my wife Amy. We were watching this little thing on Chinese food. Amy and I will both really get into the idea of having Chinese. We've got a few places we really like. However, there's also some places we do like, but they don't really like us. We're both diabetic, and a lot of times if you eat takeout Chinese, a lot of it's full of a lot of sugar and other carbs that turn into sugar, and it doesn't really agree with us well. Making homemade so much better. So Amy's already started us off on rice. We're cooking that in a rice cooker. So today we got our wok, and no, it's not as nice as some other woks you're going to see. And this is sesame seed oil. Beautiful oil. It's got a nice fragrance to it. And I'm going to tell you straight up. Just take a deep whiff of that, Amy. What do you think? Is it strong? Say it. Amy's in a little bit of a mood today. Fortunately, one of the cats are playing around. So we're not deep frying, but we are going to put a fair bit of oil in. One of my biggest beefs with takeout Chinese, it's very, very heavy deep fried, and that's not a good thing. So in here we have some chicken cutlets. It's got some pepper, sesame oil all over it, some ginger spice. If I was planning on making this when we were grocery shopping, I would have actually, I'm just going to start with 2 in there, and then I'm going to start dipping some onion. You can use whatever onion you want. I'm just using plain old Spanish onions this week. They're on sale. Something that Amy always taught me, something that my mother always taught me, is when you can get something on sale, it's always better to do it. Now, this chicken's been sitting in the fridge for overnight, and it's just drenched with sesame oil. And one of the most important lessons in cooking is marinating. When you marinate, you're giving off a lot of different flavor and texture that goes and seeps into it. It'll taste a lot better. You're gonna bring this up to a pretty high rate here, and just gonna drizzle this with onions. And this right here is 3 cloves of garlic. And you're going to put that in. And the reason being, it's going to start to give off a special type of aroma. Now, maybe we'll come in a little bit here. We've got some green onion, some celery, and some mushrooms. Now, I find a lot of people doing this actually for whatever reason that I don't understand, and I'm sure there's a reason for it, I just haven't figured it out yet, because they like using canned mushrooms. I don't like canned mushrooms, sorry. And then we've got some rosemary. Canned mushrooms is just a little bit, I don't know, it's not the greatest for you, and I don't encourage it. And then we got some ginger powder. Now, I would encourage you to actually have some ginger. We don't have it. I thought we bought it, we didn't. It's not the killer. I'm pretty sure Amy's really going to enjoy this when she eats this. I'm actually inspired for her. This is one of the things that she really likes when we go for Chinese. COVID, no, can't really go out. So we're going to come in, we're just going to stir this up really good. Because this is chicken cutlets, it's not going to take very long for it to cook. got that in there, and by the way, guys, I heavily encourage you to get something. It doesn't matter what it really is. You just put your utensils on that so that you're not making everything a mess. Because if you have a lovely wife like mine, who'll go at you on a warpath after she spent an hour cleaning, and then you just leave things lying around that make a big mess, and not very appreciative to your lovely wife. I'm just going to pour in some rice vinegar. Don't need a whole lot. Now, we're in Canada, I haven't been able to find it, but it's probably better if you use dark soy sauce, but I'm imagining it probably has a lot more sodium. We found, and I think it was actually Amy who's seen it before me, but this is actually no-neem soy sauce, and it actually has less sodium in it than the regular. So, believe me, I'm really thankful for Amy for seeing it, because I missed it, but it's important, because soy sauce has a lot of sodium, and where Amy and I are both diabetics, we also run the issues of high blood pressure. Amy doesn't have that yet, and hopefully she doesn't, but never know. So it's going to dump some on there. I was going to use a little fish sauce, but it's going bad, so I'm not going to bother. That's also a good thing. Oyster sauce. If you have some oyster sauce, that's a very key ingredient for a lot of people too. I'm just going to use a little lemon juice. Just a few drops, nothing major. And what you're going to do when everything's all said and done, when you take that out, you're going to drizzle some sesame seeds on it. But don't do it until everything's done. You don't need to cook the sesame seed oil, or sesame seeds, pardon. It's more just for show. Now, if Amy wants to bring the camera in a little bit, you're going to notice that the chicken's already starting to turn color. Doesn't take very long. When you're cooking it with a bunch of sauce, it's already been marinating, so it's had its time to breathe. If you want to add salt to this, by all means, I wouldn't. Doing that would be a very bad idea, in my opinion. That already has enough salt in it because of the soy sauce. It's very much an Asian thing. That's something they really, really enjoy. We don't need to do that. If you like your salt and that's what you're into, then by all means. We can see that the rice is already done. It's going to lift on there. Now you're going to be very careful though, because as Amy and I will both understand, if you put your take a metal spoon and go right into that right now because that's so hot, you're going to burn your hands. While we're waiting for this to finish up here, until my next step, I was asked today, or actually yesterday, pardon, why Amy and I will do a happy birthday to certain people on her Facebook page. Ron, for example, does a lot of posting of other videos and other content for us. He keeps Poul's Kitchen on Facebook going really strong. We have other members who've taken some time to really contribute to us. Been there for us when either one of us have been really sick or not feeling really good. They've been very encouraging to us. So not every cooking channel or every YouTube channel is going to do that, but Amy and I like to show a little bit of appreciation. With that being said, my sister-in-law Sarah just had surgery this week, and Amy and I would just like to say, hey, we hope you're doing all right, Sarah, if you're watching. We've been praying and thinking about you and hope you're doing well. We miss you, Sarah. One second, guys. No, we're good. Sorry, we had a little bit of technical difficulties. I love the camera we got. It's an absolutely gorgeous camera. We got it at a good price. But if you think Amy or me understand every little bit of it, we don't. Amy does a really good job. And I'm 100% sure Amy could do a lot better if she knew how to use it better. But she's the same as me. We're not trained. We both do the best that we can do, but neither one of us are the master of it yet. Alright, so it's been cooking long enough, so what we're going to do, we're going to dump some mushrooms in here. And you're going to notice they're cut up, not too small like I normally do it, but they're cut up, you know, a couple lengths down. We're just going to pour these in. Now just to give you guys a little example of what the difference is between a canned mushroom and real mushrooms. Amy, you remember what a can of mushrooms tastes like, right? What do you think of these mushrooms compared to the can?
I don't know.
Do you like these better?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything in a can is not necessarily always good. It's quicker, it's less work, but it is quicker. Amy and I both really appreciate having a better quality of food. And having a better quality of food is a little bit more important. And if you get stuff fresh, it will always be better. So, another thing with this, you never want to take for granted that your chicken is cooked. So Amy, come on in here for a minute. That's cooked. See that in here? It's all done there. Amy, would you agree with me?
Yeah.
Yep. See, I'm colorblind, so I have to rely on my wife for this a lot of times. Especially with chicken, if I'm not 100% sure, then we'll ask. We got a couple of celery, pieces of celery we cut up really soft or really small. So we're going to slide that in there. We don't need to leave this cooked very long. Now I meant for this to be one meal, some for Amy to eat, it's up for her work tonight, some for me to eat while she's working tonight. Do you think it's more than one meal?
I don't know. Maybe.
Probably. Maybe we got some food for today and some food for tomorrow. And the last thing we got is some green onion. I don't know what you guys think, but green onion to me is killer. It is really, really good. So we're just going to spread that on here. And we're done. At the end of the day, this shouldn't be a very long video. It shouldn't be a very long thing for you guys to have to watch. But it is nutritious. The hardest part, I think, most of you will find is the chicken. If you want to get chicken breasts or thighs, you want to cut them up to whatever size you want. And then you marinate them. And then you do this. Honestly, some of the hardest parts of cooking this, to be honest with you, is actually, in all reality, is just the time to prep and chop everything up. That's all it is. And really nothing more than that. Now, I'm going to be giving Amy a little bit of this to try out. However, she's probably not going to eat a whole lot of it right now, and the reason isn't because she doesn't like it. We just had breakfast. Amy has to work today. We have other things we need to do, so I wanted to get this out of the way first thing in the morning so we can go by and do them, because Amy has her things she wants to do before she goes to work. Can't blame her for that, because she works until 12. Then I have things that I want to do too. So I don't want to, you know, do this later when I don't have anybody to help me. So Amy's probably going to have a little bit of this. She'll eat a little bit now, but she'll probably be eating the rest of it later. But she's just going to give it a nice little taste test so she can show everybody what she thinks of it. Anything I could have done different, I probably would have cut the meat up more than I did. Is what it is. But this can go in the fridge, and she can put it back in the oven for a couple minutes to heat it up when it's time for dinner, which actually means that I'm going to be heating up in the oven for her, in the stovetop for her to have when she comes out on break.
I can't eat this without burning my tongue though. It's way too hot.
Is it?
Yeah. Way too hot.
So let's go all up in the recliner. What do you think?
It's really good.
You really like it?
Yeah. But it needs to cool before I can eat more.
Yeah. So, what kind of flavor do you really get on that?
The ginger. Or not the ginger.
The sesame?
Yeah.
So it's got a lot of that.
Yeah.
So the only thing I forgot to do, and I'm going to do that right now, in fact, Amy can watch me do it just so you guys know that I actually did it, is I'm going to put the sesame seeds on. So we can find wherever the heck I put it. Or Amy put it, or one of us.
It's in the drawer cupboard.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Look right in front of you.
That's why I have you. So no name sesame seeds. By all means, guys, cooking isn't about, really good meals isn't about getting the most expensive thing you can get your hands on. Sometimes it's the bargain hunting. Because I guarantee you there's no difference in flavor in these than if you went and bought a $10 thing. So I'm going to come back here and I'm just going to put, and that's it. And that is my Asian sesame chicken stir fry. So please hit the like button, subscribe, share it with all your friends, and find Amy on Facebook and tell her how much you love watching her eat. I really appreciate her because honestly I couldn't do it without her. So thank you guys very much and have a great day.